bitch!
What up, it's your boy T-Bear here on the reaction. Final video reaction based off of the Mortal Kombat trailer, Mortal Kombat 11 trailer today. So this one is dedicated to the characters of Mortal Kombat. This is every Mortal Kombat character. And I'm trying to figure out this from. I think it's from ING, not IGN maybe, who knows. But anyway, we're going to see through the years all of the different Mortal Kombat characters that graced our game, infamous game of Mortal Kombat. So including the main guy, Scorpion, Sub-Zero. So let's check it out. I like the little mantra right there.
Fatality. Mortal Kombat has been the go-to series for spine-ripping action since 1992.
Yes, sir.
The original combatants looked downright primitive by today's standards, but in the early 90s, that pixelated gore was as good a hook as the kunai inside Scorpion's hand.
Get over here!
Sub-Zero was the original Blue Ninja. Bi-Han was the first to don the attire in MK1, but he was killed by the vengeance-fueled Yellow Spectre Scorpion at the end of the game. This paved the way for his brother, Kuai Liang, to carry on the Sub-Zero name moving forward. I fight for his honor. Raiden, God of Thunder, is a major player in the story of the entire Mortal Kombat series. With the exception of MK3, he holds the distinction of being one of only 2 characters playable in every Mortal Kombat game, the other being Sub-Zero. Liu Kang is in almost every Mortal Kombat game, but since he was killed in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, we guess his corpse just had to sit this one out, until he became a zombie and was playable in Mortal Kombat Deception. Scorpion was originally human, but after the murder of his clan and family, he became the fire-breathing, vengeance-seeking specter as we know him today. He's a palette swap of the Sub-Zero character sprite. Changing the color of a single character's model was a fast and easy way to introduce more combatants, like Reptile, the green palette swap of Scorpion. Or was that the Sub-Zero sprite?
It was a Scorpion sprite.
Special Forces General Sonya Blade was the first woman combatant and fought alongside Shaolin monk Liu Kang and Hollywood action hero Johnny Cage in Battle for Earthrealm. The leader of the nefarious Black Dragon clan, an eternal nemesis of Sonya Blade, Kano, is the lone wolf of the roster, owing allegiance neither to Earthrealm nor Outworld, though this changes as the series rolls on. Goro, the four-armed Shokan sub-boss of the first game, was the only non-human sprite. While all the others were just pixelated photos of real people, Goro was a stop-motion animated doll. Shang Tsung, the shape-shifting, soul-sucking sorcerer of the Mortal Kombat series, was the main boss of the first ever game, and would return in subsequent games as a playable character. After the success of the original Mortal Kombat game, a sequel was inevitable. Baraka, the blade-wielding, monster-faced Tarkatan servant of Emperor Shao Kahn, was first introduced in Mortal Kombat 2. Kitana also answered to Shao Kahn as his personal assassin. Not only was she 10,000 years old, but she was also his stepdaughter. She would later turn on her former master and give up on the whole evil servant thing. Melina is a clone and palette swap of Kitana and would like nothing more than to murder her sister. Being a genetic mashup of Kitana and a Tarkatan warrior, she hides a grotesque mouth underneath her magenta mask.
Beloved sister.
Major Jackson Jax Briggs is Sonya's superior, and after being rescued at the end of the first Mortal Kombat, joins the roster in MK2. As a response to the controversy surrounding fatalities, Mortal Kombat 2 added 2 new finishing moves, Friendship and Babality. Kung Lao, a friend of Liu Kang, is a Shaolin monk and the descendant and namesake of the Great Kung Lao, the original Earthrealm champion of Mortal Kombat. Sub-boss Kintaro, the four-armed follow-up to Goro, is unique to the Shokan race, being the only one we've seen with tiger stripe features. He's one of several characters introduced in MK2 that aren't playable in the game, along with Jade, Smoke, Shao Kahn, and Noob Saibot. Noob had no backstory initially, but was later revealed to be Bi-Han, the original Sub-Zero, resurrected by the sorcerer Quan Chi as a shadowy figure of evil. By the end of 1993, Mortal Kombat's popularity was surging, no doubt helped by it being cited in Senate hearings on video game violence.
Pulling off the head of the opponent with spinal cord attached.
Hollywood also took notice, went to work on a live-action film adaptation.
Your soul is mine. Yup.
The third entry in the series brought us a new type of palette swap ninja, the Cyborg Ninja. Perhaps the most 90s of all the ninjas. Sector, Cyrax, and Smoke all used the same sprites in Mortal Kombat 3. The game also introduced some new human characters.
Nightwolf.
Nightwolf is an Apache warrior with a psychic link to Raiden. And Curtis Stryker is a New York police officer turned mortal combatant. A new finishing move was also added called the Animality, allowing characters to turn into their spirit.
Other than this, he was only too wild.
Kabal was once fully human, but after being burned alive by Kintaro, he uses cybernetic enhancements to keep himself alive. Motaro is the only non-playable character introduced in MK3. He's the stop-motion Centaurian sub-boss with ram horns. Shiva, the four-armed female Shokan warrior, is playable from the start, unlike the series' other Shokan warriors who first served as sub-bosses. For the Shokan! Sindel, mother of Katana and wife to Shao Kahn, is another non-human introduced in Part 3.
Alright.
Ermac, who began life as a rumored secret character dating all the way back to Mortal Kombat 1, makes his playable debut in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Rain, another palette swap generic ninja, was introduced as a tease and arcade release of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. The two chameleon characters were palette swaps of a male ninja and Katana. The female chameleon replaced the male chameleon exclusively in the Nintendo 64 version of Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Some of the combatants in Mortal Kombat 4 technically debuted in Mortal Kombat Mythology's Sub-Zero, an action-adventure game. It's where you can find the origins of Fujin, Serena, Quan Chi, and Shinnok. Mortal Kombat 4 saw the first use of 3D graphics in the franchise, was the last game in the series to have an arcade release, and introduced us to Meat, the fleshy skeletal experiment of Shang Tsung. Tanya, who served Shinnok and later Shao Kahn, is an ally to the Brotherhood of Shadow. Kai, the fire-controlling Shaolin monk, was human, along with Jarek, the lieutenant commander of the Black Dragon clan. Reiko, an outworlder, was brought into Part 4 in place of Noob Saibot because it was felt the game had too many ninjas. Like that's even possible. But thankfully, Tremor, a new ninja, debuted in Mortal Kombat Special Forces. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance upped the introduction of new characters to the series. Nearly half of the combatants in Deadly Alliance were entirely new, with many having connections to previous games. Frost is the cocky young protege of Sub-Zero. Blaze was first seen as an originally nameless background character in MK2 fighting on the Pit 2 stage. Movado is the leader of the Red Dragon Clan, a crime syndicate that rivals Kano's Black Dragon Clan, while the ridiculous-looking mocap is, well, a motion capture actor and a Hollywood friend of Johnny Cage. Many of the characters introduced in Deadly Alliance only stuck around for the non-numbered games, a series of lukewarm releases that mark a dark period in the Mortal Kombat franchise. But the blind, blade-wielding Kenshi would come back as a DLC character in 2011's Mortal Kombat Reboot, and then later as a main character in Mortal Kombat X. Bo Rai Cho, the mentor of Liu Kang and Kung Lao, drunkenly fought his way through subsequent games, coming back in Mortal Kombat X as a DLC character.
Drunk, go back to sleep.
Mortal Kombat Deception introduced a story-heavy single-player mode called Conquest, which introduced a number of notable characters into the franchise, including Shujinko, who served as the game's primary protagonist, but fans seemingly disliked him. Thus, he only really appeared in playable form in Deception and its immediate follow-up, Armageddon. While Mortal Kombat Deception introduced almost as many characters as its predecessor, none of them made the jump to being playable characters in the modern Mortal Kombat games. Some had cameo appearances in 2011's Mortal Kombat, like Onaga and Kira, but by and large, like Shujinko, the rest of the characters introduced in Deception were last seen in its follow-up, Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Just two new characters joined the roster with Armageddon, brothers Taven and Dagon. Dagon is the sub-boss of the game, while Taven is the main hero of Armageddon's Conquest mode. Only one new combatant appeared in Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe, Dark Khan. He's a fusion of MK villain Shao Kahn and DC villain Darkseid. The 2011 reboot brought on Scarlet, a new DLC character previously rumored only to exist as a glitch as far back as MK2. It also introduced Cyber Sub-Zero, which is Kuai Lang in a timeline where he turned into a cyborg instead of his close friend Smoke.
And X, let's go.
Cage, the daughter of Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade, debuted in 2015's Mortal Kombat X.
If they don't kill us, my mother will.
Cassie isn't the only second generation to compete in the tournament. Close friend and daughter of Jax, Jackie Briggs, also debuted. Son of Kenshi, Takeda Takahashi, keeps the family combat tradition alive, as well as Kung Jin, cousin of Kung Lao.
My great whatever grandfather took down Shang Tsung.
Gunslinger Aaron Black technically debuted in the Mortal Kombat X comic series, but made his first playable appearance in MKX. For non-human combatants, there's Farah and Tor, a pair of symbiotically linked fighters. Devora, who looks human but is actually a human body controlled by an infestation of colonial insects. And Triborg, the physical manifestation of the merged consciousness of Smoke, Cyrax, and Sector. And let's not forget Kotal Khan, the Mayan god of war and ruler of the Outworld.
I insist you support my rule.
All the characters from Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe are technically combatants. That means Batman, Wonder Woman, and even the Joker exist in the Mortal Kombat timeline. But DC characters aren't the only guests who joined the pantheon of combatants.
Let's get it.
Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Leatherface, a Tarkatan-inspired xenomorph alien, Predator, even Kratos from God of War, have all made guest appearances in Mortal Kombat. And it makes sense. The non-DC guest combatants are from series where gore is the norm, which makes them a perfect fit for a game that popularized ripping out someone's still beating heart. There are a few last combatants to mention, like Belloc, who was dropped from Mortal Kombat Gold due to time constraints. Then there's Hornbuckle, a named background character who never fought. Finally, there's the legendary Nimbus Terrafo, a secret Genesis character who was actually just an Electronic Gaming monthly April Fool's prank. The world of Mortal Kombat is a crazy, violent, absolutely ridiculous delight. The enormous roster of characters ranges from fighting game trope to familiar horror movie staple, with tons of variety in between.
That was like the Musion collect characters.
Gory fatalities as disgusting as they are entertaining.
Flawless victory.
If you like this content, then make sure to follow IGN's Every
that
Ever
was
on
IGN.
Facebook for everything.
Yo, that was a good video to watch right there. Seeing all the characters right there and the breakdown of the characters is awesome, though. And it also make you realize like how much new characters came on the previous ones, and then how they did mention how the ones of PS2 was the dark days or more common, which I agree, because I ain't even own any of these. Like I own from 1 to 4. I would have owned Gold if I had Dreamcast, and then I own 9, Mortal Kombat 2011, or aka 9, with Mortal Kombat X, and I definitely will own it Mortal Kombat 11 for sure. Now the only Mortal Kombat 2 game Mortal Kombat game I regret not owning PS2, as I mentioned in my previous video, is the Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monk one. Because during the time of during the dark days of Mortal Kombat, like, they going too far. Because even they had another game, Special Force on PlayStation, and that was shitty. I never played it, but I heard that was shitty. But then it's just trimmer one there. But other than that, Mortal Kombat through the years was pretty awesome. So, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bird signing off. One love.